Right now, we were talking about summer reading, even as an adult. We think of the kids right away when we think of summer reading, and that's summer slide. But it's important for you, no matter what age, as an adult you are, to keep your reading skills up. That's all part of our cognitive connection, so to speak. And joining us right now, as always on Tuesdays about this time, it's What's Up, Doc, with Dr. John Braccio, Regional Psychological Services, over to drjohnb.com. Doc, it's great to have you back here with us, as always.
Well, Mike, always a pleasure talking to you. And good topic today in terms of how to enhance cognitive development as we age. Okay, this is becoming a more of an issue as persons live longer and longer, and it's a concern. Like, how does a person keep mental alertness and cognitive thinking abilities as finely honed as possible? Well, and even though Alzheimer's, dementia can take a toll, and does on millions of persons, there's no reason we need to rush the process. We don't have to be pushing it forward. Isn't that really true? So I guess, what we do, we have to always be alert. We always have to be working forward, just thinking and being as active as we can. And we have to realize that even though the brain is an organ and not a muscle, the brain is like any other muscle, though, in the body. It functions best when used. And there's nothing worse for a person to do than to do nothing. And simply wait for life to come to them as they do not keep active. And that's really true. It's like a kind of a dry leaf floating in the wind with no purpose. So the obvious solutions are really to be active physically with a solid exercise routine, eat nutritious food, get enough sleep, and always do things that are going to keep your mind active. That's something just a lot of people don't do. I mean, a lot of even young people don't. And
right.
Examples of this, particularly as we get older, when it becomes really important. Volunteering can be good, maintaining employment, meeting with friends and family, church activities, social activities, card games, learning activity classes. Any other activity just keeps us involved with people and keeps our mind sharp and just critical, because if you really think about it, so many people really do things that don't advance them, okay? They choose what one might call the road of least resistance. They just kind of, sit back and do not keep their minds really in tip-top shape. And my advice to them from a mental health perspective, which also impacts them physically, is to keep both the body and the mind in constant use as much as possible. And again, while age can certainly impact on you, as I said earlier and say again, there's really no need to rush along the process. And if you do rush it, the result is you're going to lose years of life that could be filled with learning and enjoying life to the fullest. As I've stated, and you've certainly heard me, life is a one-time shot, Mike.
Yeah, buddy. Yeah.
Yeah, and if we don't use it appropriately, we're just going to not have the opportunity to live life and with the primary goal of being as effective and happy as we can. So let's really all take a shot, move forward, because as you live a life, you're going to get older, you're going to run into circumstances that can be difficult for you. But the more active, the more you're keeping your body, the more you're keeping your mind active, the best chance you're going to get through it. And if you're a person who just says, I can't do it, I'm getting old, I can't think, I can't process, can't do this. And so many cases, that's just people have kind of quit doing things. And when you do that, you don't have to be old to have that as a problem. That can really impact you as a young person. You always have to be opening new doors of thoughts. And even the idea of reading during the summer, keeping that reading level up. Listen, it's more than just the summer for persons, particularly as persons who get older. It's keeping active all the time, all your life. And when you do leave the earth, you don't want to leave it just because you quit thinking, you quit working, and you didn't advance your mind. So you just want to be as alert, as positive, and just find life exciting. Just find it something to really want to live and really move forward, Mike. That's really an important thing.
It's a mindset. It's a training, isn't it? That our natural inclination is toward leisure. If we just do nothing, and now there's been even a cultural push, leisure time, leisure, and we get a whole weird concept of laying on the beach as the ultimate leisure time. When in fact, there's nothing wrong with doing that a little bit, but we're meant to challenge ourselves. We're meant to push ourselves mentally, physically. Not that you have to break a sweat and build, a bodybuilder's body, but we're meant to walk around, to do stuff, to pick things up, and to get our eyeballs on stuff and our earballs on stuff that keeps us thinking. You know what I mean? Aren't we? We're meant for that. We're created for that.
Well, we definitely need balance. I think your point's a good point. You need balance in life. There's, all work and no play is not a good idea, but certainly you don't want to just all play or all non-thinking or just watching a TV or being on your iPad or computer or whatever it might be all day.
The screen is our enemy, man.
Listen, I do believe that, Mike. I really do. And it's getting some balance. There's nothing wrong with being on the beach and enjoying it, particularly these hot summer days in Michigan, which we don't get too many of. But if that's all you want to do and you're not really focusing, particularly as you get older, when you really need to keep yourself alert, and because there is going to be some slippage, physically as a person ages, that's just part of the normal sequence of life. But if you want to keep your mind going and keeping it as active as you can, you do really have to be thinking, you have to be doing things, and just kind of advancing in life, advancing in terms of thinking, moving forward, looking forward to the next thing. I work with people well into their 80s that are still active. They're out and about, they're going places, they're doing things. And I work with people, I know people in their 30s and 40s that really almost like they're waiting to the next stage. The next stage may be eternity, and it may be wonderful for persons, if that be true, and that's what many people believe. But that doesn't mean while you're here you rush yourself out. No, this is a place to try to really enjoy it. Ride it and turn it into an exciting voyage. Because remember, as I said before, we're like a meteor. It's a one-time shot, and you can't relive yesterday. You can move forward and always be thinking, always moving forward. It's kind of like if you fall down, you get up. You don't fall down and say, "Oh, I fell down. There's no point in walking anymore." I might just as well sit in a chair and get on my phone or my computer or watch TV. No, you've got to keep active and just turn life into a learning experience and helping. If you can even use it to help people, give advice, let people, as you meet them, if you've encountered difficulties or things that you see they're going into, that just use your life to be helpful. These are good things. And when you do this, you also keep yourself around longer, and you keep yourself in better health. You keep yourself in just the way that really the way that I believe life was meant to be. So if you're somebody who just is listening to us, or just the idea, I'm kind of slowing down, don't feel like doing much. The old memory isn't quite what it used to be. I could come back and say, well, that could all be true. However, there's no point in turning this into an avalanche or a roaring river of dissent. This is the time to move forward, work on thinking, read things. Not just reading is just for young people. It's a time for everyone ought to be reading and keeping up on things and just active. But even people I've talked to in the recent past who've gone back to work, just doing things, the idea, or going into churches or into organizations in the city or things that are happening, just keeping their minds active. And I don't really run into anybody who says, golly, I wish I were less active and I was losing more brain power. That's what I really ought to be doing. That's not someone says they may be doing it, but it's not like it's an active, planned activity. So
and by the way,
and move forward.
My new album is going to be called A Roaring River of Dissent. You just gave me that idea. It's a all kazoo album. I'm playing kazoo instrumentally on different A Roaring River of Dissent. I just made that up, but I think I'll try it. Dr. John Braccio, drjohnb.com on the web, Regional Psychological Services there in East Lansing. Doc, have a great week. We'll chat next week, all right?
Always a pleasure. Have a good week also, Mike. Bye-bye.
See you, buddy. Mike Austin with you at your morning wake up, 1320 WILS.